Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Simply Demi, aka Dimitri. This channel is about faith, fun and finance. So if you're interested in one or all three of those things, then continue watching and also consider subscribing. So in today's video, you would have seen by the thumbnail that I had my glasses on. Yes, I did, because today we are talking about finance, and when I have my glasses on, it kind of makes me feel a little bit intelligent. I don't know, does that happen to anyone else? Please let me know in the comments below. So we are going to be talking about why you need an emergency fund. Back in 2016, that's when I kind of was stumbling around, the personal finance arena, and I kept hearing this term, an emergency fund, an emergency fund, an emergency fund. And the way I understood it in my head was a pot of money that helps fund an emergency. That's what I understood as an emergency fund, and I don't actually think that that has changed. And so we are going to be talking about the reasons for having an emergency fund. And when I talk about building an emergency fund, the baseline that people think about is £1,000, $1,000, $1,000 CDs, whatever it may be. And you might be like, what are CDs? Listen, that is the Ghanaian currency. And if you were following me on Instagram, you would have known that I went to Ghana, but you don't. So it's your loss. Listen, I'm not shouting at you. I'm just letting you know that you need to follow me on Instagram, and it's Simply Demi. Okay, we move. No, but in all fairness, guys, 1,000 whatever. Now, it's not to say that money can't increase, but we're going to have 1,000, fill in the gap, as our baseline. So, number one reason for having an emergency fund is because emergencies happen, and oftentimes you need money to fix them. So if my car breaks down, not that I have a car, but if my car breaks down, hypothetically, I need money to fix the broken car, aka I need an emergency fund, because I need that money not to come up from my own personal allocated income. I'm saying this money goes here, this money goes there, this money goes here. I just need to have that pot of money that I can say, okay, my car needs its AC whatever sorted, I'm gonna pay for it with that money. Okay, that will make sure that I am not kind of like fumbling, I'm not scrambling around, because my emergencies are covered. If you are into personal finance, you would often have come across someone called Dave Ramsey. He says, when you have an emergency fund, an emergency becomes an inconvenience, not a catastrophe. I'm adding the catastrophe bit here. But when you have an emergency fund, an emergency, it's no longer an emergency, it's an inconvenience. It's an inconvenience that, oh God, okay, fine, I need to take my car to the mechanic and sort out this AC, whatever. It's just an inconvenience. Whereas if you don't have that money, you're like, oh my God, how am I going to find this money? So, you're ringing Sally, you're ringing Susan, you're ringing Dimitri, you're asking for the money, and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Okay, I'm very animated today. I don't know what's happening, but praise the Lord. It might be because the sun is out today. So that's the first thing. Have an emergency fund to enable you to fund your emergencies. The second thing, sorry, I'm looking down because I'm looking at my iPad. The second thing is it allows you to stay out of debt, okay? In that when you have an emergency fund, because you have that money there, you don't have to borrow money to deal with your emergency. Now, the third reason to have an emergency fund is that it will stop you from missing your savings goals. So at the beginning of the year, I said I wanted to save £10,000 this year. And if I have an emergency that is £500, that means that I might have to take that £500 from what I've already saved, okay, and it pays for the emergency. Actually, if I have £1,000 in my emergency fund, I can just get the £500 from there, and my saving goals continue to be met, okay? And so again, that's another reason, okay? It means that I am able to fund my emergency, I don't have to go into debt, and my savings goals are also not affected. The fourth reason for having an emergency fund is it allows you to help other people. I think that it's really important that when you are doing well, other people are also able to benefit in that. And part of doing well financially is being able to assist in people's areas of need when they need to. And so sometimes you might have to lend a hand, but what you don't want really is for that you lending a hand to actually cut off your hand at the same time. There's sacrificing, and sometimes sacrifices are important, but we also want to make sure that we are able to just support and in a way that both parties are able to flourish. And so when you have an emergency fund, don't think that your emergency fund is just for me. It can also be for other people as well. And then the fifth reason, therefore, is that having an emergency fund gives you peace of mind. I think that money can't buy peace. In all fairness, there are many people who are rich, they don't have their joy, they don't have peace, they're actually not really enjoying life, despite the fact that they've got millions of pounds, dollars, etc. in the bank. So I wouldn't say that just because I have an emergency fund, I'm going to have complete peace. But having that money there aids and supports you in your, you know, your attainment of peace. Ultimately, peace comes from the Most High God. But, you know, having that money there aids you in your peace because you are being a good steward of your money. And now the sixth reason of why you should have an emergency fund is because it demonstrates a certain amount of self-control. It's to say that I, over the course of 6 months, over the course of a year, have built a particular amount of money. I have chosen not to buy, I'm going to just grab the nearest thing to me, a Carol's Daughter leave-in conditioner. But I've chosen to put money aside to build my emergency fund. And I think that's something that, you know, one should have, especially as you grow older. You know, a lot of my viewers are between the ages of like 25 and 35, and even sometimes a little bit lower, a little bit younger, sorry. And so even if you're 18, you're watching my videos and you're like, you know, oh, I'm going to do that. It might take you a while because you're not earning, you know, as much as, you know, a 35-year-old is. But when you get, even if you save like £100, you could be like, wow, like check me out, you know. It demonstrates why I've had self-control to not buy X, Y, and Z, but to put money aside. And then the seventh reason, it will also build your confidence to know that, wow, look at me. You know, you get all cocky. You're like, girl, I got me some money in the bank. All right, some money in the bank. No, I'm joking. No, we're not gonna... We don't want to be cocky, okay? But you do feel a certain level of confidence that, you know, I'm actually taking ownership of my personal finance. I am actually preparing for my future. I'm living in the present, but I'm also thinking about my future. And I think it's good to feel some level of confidence about that as well. So those are 7 reasons why you should have an emergency fund. In my future videos, I'm going to be thinking about, you know, how to build one and also what constitutes an emergency. But in the meantime, I hope you're still thinking about the monthly motivational for March, which was that every day might not be good, but there's good in every day. I hope you're thinking about that and really pondering, what's the good that has happened today? So my good for today might be that, you know what, it started raining, but now the sun's out. So praise the Lord. But in the meantime, I pray you guys are doing well, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share the video to other people as well to make sure that they start thinking about why the importance and the why behind having an emergency fund. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. God bless.